You go into a crowd of guys, you take a gun and you just go and shoot at the whole crowd, not caring who you hit. I didn't care about getting into trouble. I didn't care about who I'm hurting. I didn't care about what the repercussions are going to be, because to me it's just like, hey man, fuck, my life is fucked already. You asked me if I ever killed someone, and I told you no. And that is the truth as far as I know. I won't go as far as to say that the gun I shot killed people. The one thing most people need when they're stuck in this life is just someone to just give them a hand, just to pull them out of that hole that they are in. My family originates from Wuppertal, and we were 3 kids. And in 1991, coming home, we had an accident where my brother and my sister passed away. And to my dad, that was a big thing to lose 2 kids on one day. And he was doing quite fine until he had a drink, and he just started speaking funny, and he went to go lay down, and afterwards my mom went to check on him, and that's when things just didn't seem right to me, when he locked the door. My mom called me to the window, and when I went down to the window, she threw my dad's phone and said I must phone the police. So that was when my dad shot my mom, and but 5 minutes later he shot himself as well. I think for me it was just more of a natural choice to go and live with my only living grandmother. The area she lived in was actually one of the worst gang-infested areas in Cape Town. One day we were smoking, they came to us and took our pipe and they took our stuff, and like my buddies to me, you see me bro, I told you, we join a gang, Owens can't take us for a push anymore. We join a gang, then we ourselves are the Owens. That's when I joined up with the HLs. I had my first tattoo. It's just to show that I'm part of the HLs gang. The very first time I stabbed someone, I actually didn't know how to stab it. And I stabbed, but the knife kind of just slid off his skin, and I couldn't understand. I'm stabbing this guy, but the knife isn't going in. And that's when they actually taught me how to stab properly. So the first time I actually stabbed someone properly, to me it was like, wow, to see the effect of it. Going into the body and ripping the skin, and the blood and stuff coming out. One thing led to another, and we stole our first car. And at that point in time, I was only 30. When things like this happen and you get away with it, it's like, shit, I can do anything. My one cousin told me, hey, tonight they're out on a particular car. And I went, I got the door open and I was getting into the car, and then these guys came out. I'm like, hey, wag, nee man, jy het die verkeerde mens, wat het ek gedoen? En like, ja, jy wil die kar steel nou. They told me van naanslaat ons vir jou frik. The broomstick, after 2-3 shots, the broomstick broke, and then these 2 guys were taking turns with this bat, and they were hitting the crap out of me. There was like 3 or 4 times within the run of the evening that I actually thought that I'm dying now. And I started praying at that point, saying, God, please let me just survive this. Let me just survive this thing that I'm going through. And then one of these guys that was there just took out the gun, cocked the gun, and put the gun against me. He said, hey, maak die ding nou frik, man. That's around about the time when I met that's my wife today. I don't know why, but there was something about my wife that just kept me glued to her. I actually started thinking about what I'm doing. But because of me not really wanting to disappoint my wife, I just left home. There was too many things that just wasn't working out for me, man. And I just went deep into the drugs just to escape. Just to escape. It just makes everything okay, makes everything fine, Drugs is like a demon. It's just like this demon that he doesn't get full. You can feed him and feed him and feed him, and he's just always hungry for more. And if you don't see or realize anything else, you just think of one thing, and that is getting your next fix. Not a lot of people come back from a place as dark as that. My major turnaround was when I had my 30th birthday and I was still living on the street. That evening, I actually felt like, now I'm gonna take my own life as well, because my life is nothing anymore. That was like my lowest. Coming back to reality is definitely like waking up from a coma, because everything is just so much different. I mean, it's just like it's a total different world. It might as well just have been a different planet that you are on, because you by no means can just stop using drugs and think that everything's gonna be rosy and peachy. It's definitely not, because it's not like everybody's lining up to help drug addicts and to help gangsters to, so to say, restore their life. I know why each tat was put on my body and what part of my life it was, what I was doing at that point in time and what it meant to me then. So when I walk down the street and people see these tats, they immediately associate you with gangsterism, right? So people still look at you and they think, hey, this guy is part of the firm. And for people to look at you like that, you feel like you'll never amount to more. The wisest words I've ever heard is, a man who dares waste a minute of time has not yet realized the value of life. And to me, that means a lot, because I've wasted a lot of time to addiction and to a lot of bullshit in my life. And I want to make every second count from now on. So even if it's just something as simple as being able to go pick up my son from school and just the two of us just going out a bit, I mean, for me, that means a lot. It doesn't really matter, that where you come from or what you've done, your past and so on. Your kids just want you to be there. I've been to hell and back. So for me to become this new person out of what I was, it's amazing, man. And I kind of feel like a phoenix, because out of all that shit that I've been in, I could grow out a new person. The new tats, it's professional, and the bottom part of the arm will tell you about the turmoil that I was in, and you see it's a dragon that's being consumed by the fire. That is where I was in my life. I was like a dragon, if I may call it that. I was this fierce person that just didn't care. And for that to be consumed and then this phoenix coming out of it, that is what I feel like. I've come out of that turmoil, and that in itself gives me hope. Where people first used to walk a big U around you. Now it's like, it's totally different, because people approach you, people they don't even know. Wow, this looks cool, and they want to check it out. So I guess for me, it's part of the new me and the new life. Your circumstances definitely doesn't determine who you are or what your life has to be. It's what you make of it. There's probably a lot of questions I could have for God, but I don't think I would want to ask him any of those questions that I have. Once it's done, it's done. Gister is agter die rug, môre wie weet. Maar vandag is joune.